Welcome to the Mortgage Broker Podcast, tailor-made for Canadian mortgage industry professionals. Proudly presented by A Better Way Mortgage Group, this podcast is your trusted source for insider insights, market updates, and strategies to elevate your career in the ever-evolving world of mortgage brokering. Whether you're a seasoned broker with A Better Way Mortgage Group or an industry enthusiast looking to stay ahead, our episodes are designed to empower you with the knowledge and tools you need to excel in the Canadian mortgage space. With that, it kind of leads us into the next component of this, which, I'd say is probably the single best thing we've ever created internally. And this is the centerpiece, like where I really want to spend most of the time in this discussion, because, everything I just described, the modules, the quizzes, the resources, like that is the course, that's the training, there's no doubt. But here's where it really gets interesting is we launched something in March called the Agent Coach. And this is where AI fundamentally can change what a training platform can do. And so maybe, Deryk, you can kind of touch on that. Like when I first showed you the Agent Coach, like what was your reaction?
I was a little skeptical at first, to be honest with you. I've seen a lot of AI tools coming through our chats over the last 6 months, but I went really deep on this. And truthfully, I was, again, skeptical of how good it really could be because we've been through coaching with humans. We've spent a lot of money on coaching and there was a ton of value. And I spent close to 3 hours going through my business plan, my goals, my flaws, my challenges, the direction of my business. And I made it very detailed, very real, and I was completely blown away with the responses and suggestions. And I think the biggest thing was the realistic nature of the coach. I went through this. Obviously, I'm not brokering right now, so my plan was, somewhat fictional, but I made it as real as it could be. And, I created goals that were unreasonable, and the coach kept bringing me back, down to real world. And they would give me honest questions about like, your goals to double your volume with no new staffing are not realistic, right? So we need to scale things back. And it was like, I put in there that I didn't actually want to increase my output of, marketing calls, but I wanted to double my volume. And it brought me back into a very realistic path to set the plan. So skepticism turned into, pretty eye-opening conversation very, very quickly. It forces you to be honest about the numbers. It forces you to be honest about your actions. And most brokers have never really gone through this rigorously. And, the accountability piece, I think that's the biggest one. There's a lot of, tools out there that can help you do a business plan and whatnot, but the accountability is huge, like daily check-ins, streak tracking, smart alerts. This is what's really missing in the industry from an online business planning coaching type platform. It's a bot, right? So it's 24/7. It's like when you have time to go through this, you work on it and it's there. It's immediately accessible to you at any time for any question business related. You kind of go into it with a bit of a closed mind, or I did anyways, on what it could really achieve and the conversations that you could have with it. And it exceeded my expectations on every single vein.
What it is essentially to the perfect loan process, the Canadian perfect loan process, is it's a premium subscription layer on top of the course. So the course is free to all brokers in Canada. Anyone that's a licensed mortgage broker has free access to the course. And we wanted to be intentional with that because we believe in it so much, and we believe that the industry can, get a lot better and get a lot more systematized. And, AI for a lot of people would be, one of the biggest, if not the biggest threats in their business. So, if we can take what we learned, systematized it, we can have AI help us enhance our own business practices. And that's really what I go through in the entire AI mortgage mastery course. And so essentially what this premium subscription layer is it's powered by Claude. So Claude Opus 4.6, which is Anthropic's most powerful AI model, truly the most powerful AI model on the planet right now. And it does things that no traditional training program can do. So first, there's a floating AI chat widget on every page of the platform. So you can ask it questions about any module, any concept, any resources. It knows the entire CPLP curriculum. Like that is its core knowledge base. It knows which modules you've completed and what your quiz scores were, where you are in the course. It knows exactly. And so when you ask a question, it gives you a personalized answer based on your actual progress. The tier system is smart. So students get 30 messages a day, and subscribers get unlimited. So like the AI agent, it adjusts its behavior based on your tier. So, if you're a subscriber or not. And so if you're on the course, you're listening to this and you're trying to chat with it and you're maybe not getting, the feedback you're expecting, it's probably because you haven't upgraded to the paid tier. And I just want to talk about the business planning agent because it's truly the most powerful piece of this entire program. And what it is so when a subscriber signs up for the enhanced AI coach access, they go through a 9-step business planning session. It can run about 30 minutes if you really go deep here. And what it is, it's not a form that you fill out, it's an actual conversation with the AI coach. And step one, you get into your current production state, your volume, units, revenue, mortgage mix. Like the AI cross checks your math in real time. So after you finish that, you go into step two, which is target setting. So, a lot about what Deryk was just talking about, growth targets and scenario modeling, and then, giving you live feedback. Is this even realistic, or, what you should maybe reset? And then step three is your strategic goals. So the top 3 to 5 goals beyond volume. So the agent makes you actually quantify each one. And that's where, Deryk would have been getting that feedback when he was testing it and going with, much higher targets than were realistic. And then step 4 is the business source breakdown. So basically reverse engineering where deals need to come from. And then step 5, revenue generating activities, weekly behavioral targets. The agent builds your realtor engine math or your referral partner engine math, whatever your target is. And then step 6, the database and referral engine. So optimizing your existing database. And there's a lot of pieces here that are very powerful. And then this is probably one of my favorite pieces about it is step 7, the SWOT analysis. So like a very honest diagnostic, the top 3 opportunities and top 3 risks in your business. And then step 8, where it starts to round out, systems and process ratings. So rate 8 operational areas, 1 to 5. Really what it is it's a capacity check. Can you actually hit these targets? And then step 9 is where it wraps up and then moves you forward. So the 90-day focus plan, the top 3 priorities with specific actions and a weekly rhythm. And here's the key. The AI, as we've talked about, it does push back. And if you say your average loan size is 400,000 and you've funded 50 units last year, but then you claim 25 million in volume, the AI actually catches that, right? The math doesn't work. It forces you to get real with your numbers. And that is the most important piece. Let's just talk about that for a second. So you're basically giving every broker their own AI business coach that knows their numbers, and it's available to them, like you said, at 11 p.m. on a Tuesday or whenever they're wanting to jump into it. So it lives right inside the platform that they're already using for training. It's not that, other login. It's not the other app. It's the same platform with an AI layer on top. So maybe you can kind of touch on that.
I think that's the biggest benefit of this, right? And just keep in mind, these go together, right? Like you work through the course and then the AI coach is in sync with the course that you're working through or that you've completed, right? So the fact that you're going to be so ingrained in this course and you're thinking about your process and you're building your process, like you're always coming back to the CPLP login to work with your coach. It's on demand. I think that was the best thing for me. I mean, we're all busy, right? And I was trying to get through this just from my own knowledge and being able to, have conversations around this to our agents and, people that are actually working through the course. And that was the best thing for me is I could sit there, on my laptop at 9 o'clock at night after the kids went to bed and plug away for an hour, right? And that's really, truly, I mean, thinking about our own experience, working through a process build over and over and over, you don't get a lot of that done during the day, right? Like you're busy doing deals, you're busy working with your staff, 8 to 5. Like the build part was always kind of outside of work hours, a little bit in the evening, a little bit on the weekends. And it's just because things are silent and you can focus on that part of your business. If you can get it done during the day, great. But I think that was a huge value to me. Doesn't matter who you hire as a human coach, nobody's on demand, right? Like nobody's accessible to you as you need them at your hours. And, to talk about our experience, as much as we had phenomenal coaching, it was like we were always too busy to jump on this Thursday call at 3 p.m. We did them, we never missed them, but we were too busy to do it and we couldn't focus, right?
It was always a challenge for us because the coach always wanted to meet during business hours on a business day. And I'd say, the 24/7 piece is great, but the one thing that really took this to another level for me is once you complete your business plan conversation, the platform unlocks a full dashboard. So there's just over 6 tabs there. It's your business plan overview with all the metrics, the SWOT analysis, and your 90-day plan are front and center. A daily tracker where you log activities every day, leads, applications, files funded, a weekly scorecard aggregating that data, and monthly comparison charts, a pipeline funnel showing conversion rates, and then your goals tab with progress rings, like just like an Apple Watch, like tracking against your annual targets, and smart alerts that tell you when you're falling behind. Streak tracking builds accountability through these daily check-ins, and the whole thing is designed so you can't hide from your own numbers. And we haven't talked about role play. Subscribers can actually, practice real scenarios with the AI. So pre-approval calls with, nervous first-time buyers, rate objection conversations, realtor pitch meetings. Like the AI actually plays the other side and adjusts difficulty and then gives structured feedback after each session. And you can do this as much as you'd want. And it connects the feedback to the specific CPLP module that covers that skill or covers that content that you're getting into. So you truly can learn the concept in the module. Like you practice with the AI and the AI tells you which module to revisit if you're struggling and really closes the loop there. The daily check-in is amazing if you're tracking prospecting calls and what you're doing for prospecting, whether it's realtor calls, realtor coffees, lunch and learns, open houses, financial planner calls. There's so much there that, we're just scratching the surface on in this conversation. And, we've talked about this in the previous AI podcast that we did, but like there is so much here to take advantage of. I just wish we had this. I mean, we spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on coaching, and we still do to this day. And then that's one thing I wanted to touch on before moving on to, the next segment is this coaching experience is amazing, but I wouldn't close the door on a human to human coach. Like the ability to have a human that is experienced in this type of space is not what we're trying to get away from. We're trying to only enhance that. Like if you had this dashboard, you had the ability to practice these concepts, imagine how more insightful and impactful those coaching sessions would be with your coach. And, we've talked to a lot of coaches about what we built here and made it very clear to them is like, we want to triple down on our brokers working with coaches. If that's something we can enhance with this tool, we believe this tool will, add an incredible enhancement to that.
Thank you for tuning in. If you found value in this show, please subscribe to our channel on your preferred platform. We're available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. Your support is incredibly appreciated. We also welcome your reviews and feedback, which are crucial in helping us deliver outstanding educational content. Feel free to share your thoughts. A 5-star review would be fantastic if you think we earned it.
Now, a message about something that means a great deal to us and to everyone at A Better Way Mortgage Group. City Reach Care Society is our chosen charity partner for 2026. For over 20 years, City Reach has been serving thousands of vulnerable individuals, children, and families across Greater Vancouver. They call themselves the Hope Business. When you see what they do, you'll understand why. Through their Food for Families program, City Reach provides fresh, nutritious groceries to over 4,500 people every single month. They partner with 54 schools across Vancouver, Surrey, and the Tri-Cities to make sure kids have access to food, hygiene supplies, and the support they need to thrive. Every August, their Back to School Blast puts backpacks filled with school supplies into the hands of 1,000 children heading back to the classroom. Here's what makes your support go even further. Every single dollar donated to City Reach translates into $10 worth of food for families in need. You can learn more, donate, or sign up to volunteer at cityreach.org. That's CITYREACH.org. Once again, thank you for listening, and we'll see you on the next one.